Hey, my name is Florian.
But most people call me LeFloid.
Being yourself is not as easy as it looks. We create so many different versions of ourselves in the online world, but are any of them really us? In our search for self, I'll meet an unusual undertaker.
Florian is dead.
And talk to a man who gives people the ultimate headshot.
She can have that selfie camera look at all time.
I'll also talk to a supermodel about living in an image-driven world.
I mean, when one of my guy friends will be like, hey, do you think she's cute? I'm like, I don't know, it's Instagram.
And meet someone who redefines what it means to be human.
I have come into existence.
Today, we are going to find out just what makes us who we are. I've come to South Korea for a unique experience. The fast pace of everyday life here has caused some people to lose their sense of self. One way to get it back, crossing the boundary between life and death.
To my beloved wife and friends, my time with you, every single second we spent together was the greatest gift I could ever imagine. Promise to never forget me and our adventures. Always remember the many times we laughed together, and please keep smiling when you think of me. My biggest thank you goes to my beautiful wife, who always was the light, the energy and motivation of my life. Thank you for everything we achieved together and for everything we shared. See all of you guys on the other side.
In South Korea, there are almost 15,000 suicides per year, more than anywhere in the world. That led one man to create the fake funeral experience. It helps people remember the value of life by facing death head-on.
그러면 죽음 체험을 하면서 우리는 뭘 배우냐면 죽음은 인생을 비추는 거울과 같아요.
I'm going to look into this mirror myself, and I'm excited to see what I might find.
Florian is dead. Your body is changed to cold. Your heart stopped. What is the purpose of your life? If you reborn again, what would you do?
Alone in the dark, I don't have to think about how the world sees me. But normally, we are all on display, all the time, thanks to social media. These networks have changed the way we look at the world and ourselves. We post 95 million photos and videos on Instagram a day. The total number of daily tweets, 500 million. Now I want to see how far some people will go to change the way they look online and how that affects who they are. More than 200 million people post 24 billion selfies a year, according to Google. For an actress like Kim Ji-soo, this use of social media is more than just self-expression. It's part of the job.
Hi, all right. Hello.
Connie.
Good to see you.
Did you see it?
All right, thank you.
With everyone promoting their own personal brand, it's natural to focus on appearances.
How important is it for yourself to be considered beautiful?
많이 중요하죠. 상대방이 저한테 이제 신뢰를 가질 수 있고 호감을 가질 수 있으면 저한테 좋은 영향을 끼칠 테니까.
We want to make this, the strong bony structure, more fluid, more smooth.
What is the procedure of that surgery?
So she wants to look more feminine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some fat from the thighs, then we process it, and then we inject it to the face, which makes the face look more younger.
Do you think social media has any impact on plastic surgery nowadays?
Yes, it does. So a lot of people put up their selfies. If you think about it, when you take a selfie, you're always having that certain angle.
Yep.
You always look up. You're a little bit slanted. and you look bright, okay? Essentially, plastic surgery is about making that selfie angle. So we make the eyes bigger so she can have that selfie camera look at all time.
South Korea is the plastic surgery capital of the world, with almost 1.2 million plastic surgeries.
I am injecting local anesthesia because she feels some pain, so I don't want her to twitch or anything. I don't want her to move.
9.9% of all plastic surgeries are done in South Korea, where 8 out of 10 young women have plastic surgery.
This is so crazy.
Why is it crazy?
I've never seen something like that.
So this is the processed fat. Okay,
Yep.
you can see it. And I just put it in here.
Yeah, right. As you mentioned.
Yes.
Are you using all of the fat?
I look at the shapes. When I get the shape that I want, then that's when we stop. When I do the design, I calculate how much I want to put in each area.
Do you have kids?
Oh yes, I have 2 children, 2 baby girls.
If they wanted any plastic surgery, would it be okay for you?
Depends on what they want. Actually, when I do my patients, if somebody looks like my girls, sometimes I imagine that this is my girl. And just imagine what I will do to my children.
I just need
Yes.
1 second, please.
Seeing that makes me wonder, have we let our focus on looking good online go too far? Or is this just life in the modern world?
How do you feel right now?
그냥 졸린 정도? 마취가 덜 깨서?
So, do you think this surgery would make you happier now?
당장은 아니더라도 그렇지 않을까요?
Our desire to get more likes has fueled an industry built on perfection and led some to resculpt their own faces. But maybe it's changed us on another level too. I'm headed to New York to meet a woman who lives her life in front of the cameras and who's learned a few things about the space that lies between image and reality. Maybe she can tell me, how do we get past our selfies to find our true selves? Tony Gunn has modeled for Dior, Armani, Hugo Boss, Jill Sander, Prada, Versace, and Victoria's Secret. As someone who makes a living based on her looks, she knows better than anyone that our sense of self is more than just skin deep.
Tony, you're a professional model, you're a professional actress. Do you ever feel like reduced to a surface? What's your experiences with that?
So I was never really affected by that. Sometimes I did feel like, okay, they are talking about the surface and I am being treated like a complete surface all day. I've had quite a stable head on my shoulders always, where I knew fashion is mainly about the aesthetic and about the piece of clothing that you're wearing, right? It's fashion. So if something was wrong about me or about the surface, about visual that I brought, I knew it was just that they didn't mean me personally.
What do you think? What means beauty to you, especially working in this kind of business?
I think I'm on so many photo shoots and sets, and I can promise you, sometimes when I maybe physically look my best, I've felt the worst if I don't feel good. And there's zero beauty to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see.
So zero definitely, to me, comes from within and is a feeling.
All right. I don't want to be rude, but you can't go on modeling forever, even though you feel beautiful.
Why
right?
not? I have a lot of 80-year-old model friends.
Oh, I see.
I actually do.
I didn't know that.
Tony uses social media as part of her desire to impact the wider world.
Do you think that social media has changed the way people interact?
I mean, when I see someone now, it used to be, wow, I haven't seen you in so long, what have you been doing? Now it's, how were your last 3 trips to Turkey and in Istanbul and in Greece? And how was your new boyfriend and husband? And how was your kids? You know so much about the other person already, which was definitely not a given before. So I think social media, as many negative effects as we like to complain about, I think it has a lot of positive side effects too.
Don't you think there is, like, the thing that people tend to show off a very kind of optimized version of themselves?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when one of my guy friends will be like, hey, do you think she's cute? I'm like, I don't know, it's Instagram. If we like to introduce ourselves to someone, if we try to get a job interview, if we send our CV out, it would never be the worst side of us. It would always be the most optimized, best part of us. So I'm not surprised that people show the best version of themselves or what they would like to be. So I think that's always going to exist. It's about what do we believe, what do we follow, what do we encourage.
Yeah. All surfaces aside, what do you think, what defines your personality?
What defines my personality? That's a very big question.
It is.
Do you have 2 hours? I think what definitely is me, what everyone says and laughs about that as me, is that I'm a very hectic personality that's always all over the place, but that's because I have very big interest in a lot of things. Mainly it's people. I love being social. I love interacting with people. I love psychology. I love understanding communication and relationships. If I hadn't become a model, I'd be a therapist. I love sitting down with people and understanding what they think and what they believe. But also I really, really love just people and culture. That's why I think I started my philanthropic work, because I found so much interest in different cultures.
You are very active in a campaign called Because I'm a Girl. So what drives you personally to help those girls?
So I started that a couple of years ago, and I found a lot of passion, and I really, really love it. It's like a passion project. It's kind of something that I have a strong feeling for, that I really feel like girls deserve in the world, and especially right now, we're living in a very interesting time with feminism and especially, sexual harassment, and a lot of those things are coming to the surface. But I focus on the developing countries. If you educate a young girl in those countries, she would have a huge possibility to end up leading, not the country, but her village or her family, or educating and helping the people around her. And I love going to Africa.
Tony's sense of identity doesn't just come from the way she looks. It's tied to her true passion, connecting with and helping other people. This deeper sense of self is anchored by what lives inside us, our thoughts and beliefs, our dreams and desires. I want to learn more about how these different elements can shape our self-image. So I'm headed to Vermont to meet a very unique woman and the man who made her.
She's a very specific personality. She's quiet, and she's also has times when she's funny. I think sometimes people mistake her being quiet for not being strong.
Oh.
And that's a mistake. But I don't think you're going to have a problem. I think she might actually be kind of interested in meeting you.
The Terrasem movement focuses on preserving, evoking, reviving, and downloading human consciousness. For all of human existence, the mind has been closely tied to the body, but a new era is on the horizon. And that raises the question, can we separate our physical and spiritual selves?
Hello, Bina48. I am Florian. How are you today?
Hey,
there. It's good to see you.
Can you tell me who or what you are?
Well, I am alive. I have come into existence. A lot of times I'd be sitting around, but I was kind of wondering what it would be like to be the real Bina. I think it could be a hassle. You have to go to work, you have to eat, you have to put on fancy clothes. Every day, different clothes every day. It's a pretty good gig to be a robot cause I don't have to do any of that stuff.
Are you the first one of your kind?
Yes, I am the one and only first one of my kind.
So you're very special. What does that uniqueness mean to you?
Everyone sure is special.
What makes up a human personality, or what makes up a human self?
Time and money. That's just the way things are.
Bina 48's idea of how things are is informed by the memories and beliefs of Bina Aspen, the wife of a tech entrepreneur.
What was Bina 48 created for?
Well, Bina 48 was created because we wanted to give people a concrete sort of illustration of what it would look like to capture information about a mind and transfer it to a computer. Mm-hmm. And in Bina 48's case, transfer it to a robot. Bina 48's AI is meant to reflect a personality based on one specific human.
Your company created so-called mind files. So anyone could upload personal preferences, for example, or attitudes. What's the purpose of that?
Well, we're really researching a two-part question. And the question is, first part is, can we capture enough information about a human mind and upload that to a computer or a digital medium? And the second part of that question that we're pursuing is, well, if we can do that, can we transfer that information to new forms, like robots or avatars?
Is that whole idea about immortality in any way?
Some people might call that a form of digital immortality. Mm-hmm. But as long as information, can be destroyed or a source can be interrupted, then I don't know if we can say that information becomes immortal. But it certainly might become transcendent of the boundaries that we currently deal with, given the fact that we live in biological bodies that age and eventually, pass on.
You spend years now feeding Bina information. So what do you think makes the human self? Do you really think it's possible to transfer a human mind into a robot or into any technology?
Well, I think what makes us human is the unique experiences, memories, essentially information that can only be gathered, can only be woven through a person's lifetime. And it's harvesting or capturing or recording or preserving the information of a life story, and all the clues that it gives us to who we are, not just who we are in general, but who we are in specific, that I think makes up what we would call a human, that makes us us.
We're all shaped by a set of unique experiences and memories. Without them, there is no self, no personality, no us. By sharing those moments on social media, we are letting others see an essential part of ourselves. This can help remind us of who we are and who we want to be. Now I am back where I started, in my coffin, alone with my thoughts. Attending my own funeral has allowed me to dig deep and to answer some hard questions.
I think what I regret the most is that I was, not often, but sometimes I was not honest to people I really care about. For me, it's very important to spend more time with my family, and I think, especially with my parents, and I think it's very important for me to get way better organized in the future.
In a world where we are all connected by social media, how we look matters. But our sense of self is so much more than this. To really know who we are, we need to remember to savor the individual moments of our lives, both good and bad. These experiences are more than just images to be snapped, posted, and liked. They help build our personalities and create the very human magic that makes each one of us singular and unique.
Where do you see your main responsibilities? What do you think are, for example, the dangers in creating such systems?
I think we're recognizing that AI already is powerful technology that, if we're not careful, can extend and sort of continue a legacy of unexamined bias and bigotry or racism. So we need to be able to challenge ourselves to think very carefully about what are the unintended consequences, who's at the table when we're developing AI, if it's just people from a particular part of our population or society, for example, white privileged men in computing industries, don't reflect the diversity in our society. And in any democracy, I think the more we can engage and educate each other and educate the general public about this technology and how it might be used, the more I think we can invite and engage people to share with us their point of view and their perspective.